project is called Open Legislation. It's this open source website for looking up legislation that the New York State Senate is developing. And they developed it a long time ago, but it looks pretty out of date, and it's they want to change the way it looks and some of its usability aspects of it. So, just a reminder, to look up bills and things like that. And it's not used as much anymore or right now, because Senate is out of session. But if Senate's in session, you'd have a bunch of different people, people with different purposes looking at this website. But currently the problem with it is that people usually, they get a link to a certain bill information, and we'll have things like comments and where it is, if it passed this committee and then went to some other thing. But the home page is kind of useless, so they wanted to redesign the home page. And they want to make it helpful and easy to use for lots of different types of users, because there's a really big difference between the power users who know a lot about legislation, and they know exactly what they're looking for, and they understand the names of bills can be confusing and things like that. And then just naive users who there's an issue they're concerned with, so they want to look up laws being passed about it. So the original dashboard was kind of Google-ish, which it works, like, it's nice, but it's not that helpful. And most of the people are just getting links to bills. They're not actually going to the home page. So the home page is pretty useless because all these links are on every other page, so there's absolutely no point in going to the home page. So basically what they wanted to do is they want to make it useful for people who would go to the home page to just see what's going on, even if they didn't have anything specific in mind, or if they're like a specific type of lobbyist or something like that who wants to see what the bills on the current calendar are, meaning what's getting voted on and stuff like that. The homepage will be useful. So we used Balsamiq, this mock-up tool. I don't know if anyone else has used that. It makes these kind of hand-drawn looking wireframe things. And so we want to make the homepage look kind of like this, where it's got different bills, feeds you can look up. It's got the ability to search. Before there's just a search box, which is nice, but there's no way to only search for bills or only transcripts. So if you search for something, you probably only want bills, but it might return like 30 pages of transcripts that you don't want to look at, so it's not very helpful. So the idea is we have a drop-down menu where you can search only bills, which would be helpful. And then it would also have links to stuff that's getting voted on today or this week. And then kind of like a little widget type thing that says whether or not Senate is in session. And then it would have like links to the video feeds because they stream those feeds. And then we redesigned the footer a little bit. Makes more sense on other pages. And also an FAQ feature for explaining what the website is about and how legislation works. We want to have that on the homepage and just in the header in general. This is what the bill search used to look like. As you can see, all those links are still there, but it's not really laid out very nicely. And we've got links to formats that you can click on. But if you click on one of those links, it only gives you the data from this one single page, as in results 1 to 20 of like 25,000. So it's not very useful really to anyone. So we kind of decide there's no real point for those links to be there at all. So we are using this thing, Twitter Bootstrap. I don't know if anyone uses that, but it's like this CSS API that's really nice looking, and this graphic design guy, Stefan, that I've been working with, really likes it. And it gives you the ability to like really easily make like pagination stuff and like drop-down menus. So it's got, this is still a work in progress, but it's got kind of this Web 2.0 vibe that I like, and it's got it lists sponsoring committee before the description, just like various changes like that. And like we'll have highlighted what specifically you're searching for, because before, if you're getting bills, it says bill search results, but it can be misleading if you you search for everything what you're doing. So anyway, these are bills, so ideally calendars would not actually be highlighted, but bills would be highlighted, but it'd be that type of thing, and we want to have an FAQ button over there. So it's still a work in progress, but that's kind of what it looks like at this point. And then also we want to have a drop-down search thing, because before, on the old website, you can click Advanced right next to Search. That goes to a totally different page, so you can't look at what you're looking for. But it's probably the case that if you're looking at a bill or something, you want to be able to look at the advanced search fields as well as the stuff you're looking on the actual page. So the idea is we want to have a drop-down thing instead of just going to a totally new page. So that's like a nice feature we're adding, and it'll look something like that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We redesigned the footer to look like this, basically, instead of the old footer, which is kind of, there's no footer at all. But anyway, that's what we're doing. Basically, most of the website looks kind of like this. So yeah, any questions?
I thought you're also going to add a calendar view of each day what bills are going to be discussed. Are there plans for that?
Yeah, there are. We've been redesigning the calendar views as well. It's just, right now there's not much difference between the pages on the bills, but basically that's getting reformatted in a few different ways. In the old format, basically there's a lot of like, that formats, the different type of formats links on the right side, and we're kind of making it so that there's one link per horizontal row, basically. So we're kind of redesigning that. But yeah, we were redesigning all the pages. Basically calendars, transcripts, and bills. The other things don't really need as much redesign. It's just the CSS that's getting changed to look kind of like this. But yeah. Any other question?